Guys, this is the tournament guide for brand new players. I wanted to put together a little playlist here, just kind of showing off, what's possible with tournaments, how you should definitely treat brand new accounts and building up that account. So here you can see this is a result from one of my previous tournament videos. So hopefully you check that one out. And just wanted to show you, we're going to be starting to collect some, unfortunately we didn't unlock anything new, but we got some sparrows, and we're well on our way there. Let's see, oh, this one I didn't finish yesterday, got to. But just wanted to kind of show you and remind you, definitely come in, get these free bags. You're going to see, so you can see this Jester automatically, unlocking just like that, just from free chests. So we didn't have that club before, and just like that, with just one free chest, we're able to start unlocking things. So you'll see this is now my only rough iron, and you can see how much of a difference it makes. It's a 40 yard increase here. So very huge that you guys just kind of start working through this. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is we talked about this in some of the other guides. Guide for Ultimate Golf, it's free to download. This is the interface as soon as you open it. So I have it pulled open right now. It's kind of overlaid on top of my Samsung tablet. And we can go back to the game, and you can see we have a Sparrow 4 now. So if I go to my bag, we can upgrade the Sparrow to a 4. We can scroll down. Oh, you don't even have to scroll. You can just tap on it, and then it was the Jester, right? So Jester 1 now. So here we'll come back. Just go back in here. Pop open this real quick. My subscription's a little bit different the way that it works. So basically, to be able to test both modes simultaneously, here we're going to come in, we're going to activate this grid again, and come back in, and here you'll see the updated clubs. So now you'll see the Jester on our brand new bag here. The only thing that we haven't found yet is a driver and a short iron. So you're going to want to work on logging in every 4 hours, try to get that free bag, and progress the tours. As you start to progress through these tours, as soon as you get tours 3, 4, 5, all these unlocked, you're going to start be able to, from the free chest, get those tournament clubs. That'll help you for the tournament, pretty much any tour play. It's going to be huge that you go in and start progressing through the tours, start unlocking tours. That way, whatever the maximum tour you created, you can now have that available in the free bag, as well as some of the tournaments, stuff like that. So in here in the tournament, there's another boss battle. So since it's brand new accounts, we're just going to go in. We'll do the enter here. As soon as I download this, I'm going to hit that info button in the bottom right. As soon as we download the assets, just go ahead and hit enter. And let's just see what our target score is. Obviously, come back out. Take a look here. The info button. So rewards, another free chest, 1,000 coins. This is just a really easy way. You see, restarts are free. So with the new structure, with the new game structure, they're trying to get new players to roll in here and kind of give them some guidance. So that's kind of what these guides are about. So for instance, let's just say I was to hit restart. You see how my wind is pointed right at 12 o'clock? Very close to it, maybe 11:30. As soon as I hit restart, you're going to see, it might give me a new wind in terms of magnitude, but you'll see that it's the same direction. That means however I shoot, you can just go and kind of replicate my shots on your own tournament round. So that was created for you guys to be able to really start progressing your account and learn the game a lot easier. So here you can see it's about 2.5 rings, 2.9 at max. We're going to use that max value since we're going to that max line. Of course, the biggest thing that you have to worry about, especially when you're going to overpower, is just watch that ultimate shot. Don't be too far. You know, you can back off. You definitely want to hold the fairway. So if you're worried that your timing's not quite good enough, just take a step back. You don't have to try to kill it off the tee. And same with these, you know, I always recommend going precision. So here you'll see basic short iron. Here's the max line. Now I talked to you guys about this a little bit yesterday, so think that this, you know, if I put this to the side, you can see here's down where min is. This is gonna have, I would say, probably about 3 less backspin on it. So, you know, consider this to have like 3 backspin natural. This is like, you know, 0. So it's really gonna roll out past the guide. However, when we get close to this max line here, it's not gonna roll out as far because it's gonna have some natural backspin. So one of the things that we're gonna do is we're gonna set up and just kind of leave this ball guide short, leave some room for it to roll out. And we'll go to the basic, we'll go 8.0. And it's saying kind of right around mid club, 320. So we'll go real close, maybe just I'm not sure how it's going to break on this green, but let's just kind of stick with this. A little bit of left pointed momentum as well. Is it 3-2? 3-2. So that's how many rings we're going to go. Starting from here, this would be 1 ring, this would be 2 ring, this would be 3 rings. So we are going to go right around here, a little bit short of 3 1/4. And the only thing that's, you know, really hard about this game is with the early clubs, there's so much missing ball guide, and you want to make sure that you're close. And unfortunately, I caught my great ball. Let's see if I can avoid this rough, though. Here you can see it's still rolling out a little bit. So we needed to shorten that ball guide just a little bit farther. So if, you know, when you're shooting yourself, if you can make that modification and just keep it a little bit shorter. But it also shows you what happens, how much you're penalized, especially with these basic type clubs. You are very much penalized with great balls. So you want to be just a little bit more exacting with your timing. And of course, I'm playing on my tablet right now. My tablet and my phone, they have a little bit different timing, so it's a little bit hard to get synced when I go between the two. So you might notice something similar for yourself. However, we only have to shoot even to win this balls battle. So a very, you know, generous offering here to give you guys some free coins, essentially, some free balls, by not having to really, you know, do too much. So here you can see down that's towards min club here. This is a Raptor. We might be able to backspin a Raptor. Maybe that's what we'll try to do. We're on the Raptor there. This is not going to be the easiest shot, I'll tell you that. So let's say this is up where max is. We're almost towards min club, so we're going to play a little bit more of a min value here. So somewhere down here, 4 rings. You want to also be careful, make sure that you still hit this fairway as opposed to this rough. Now alternatively, it's kind of a similar ring adjustment either way. So maybe to keep this from rolling out, maybe the shot is to actually bump this off the rough. So maybe we'll just switch shots. We're going to keep about the same ring adjustment though. It's right around that 4 that we spoke of. Now, the only thing about this is you've got to be careful. So when you're going for a target like this, make sure 4 rings is on the rough, but also make sure that you're not getting too aggressive. And of course, you have to hit ultimate ball. Keeping in mind that if you don't hit ultimate ball, you do have the ability to go back and just start over. So that is one of the nice things about this being on one of the early holes, but you can see with that missing ball guide that we were able to execute that shot and get it reasonably close and make an easy birdie putt. So hopefully you guys are using kind of similar strategy. I was worried that the fairway with the missing ball guide, we weren't going to be able to stop it because we don't have enough backspin. So with all of this in mind, we go for that rough bump, and you see we're able to execute. So you guys should be thinking along the lines of a similar strategy as well. Here, we want to make sure that we stay in the fairway. This could be a 2-stroke swing in the event that we're, a little bit off with our timing. So like I said, back off if you have to. You don't have to go full power like me. Or similarly, you can start to, potentially utilize, some very entry-level balls if you wanted to. However, a lot of these rewards aren't too bad to win. So, and since balls aren't being won in this tournament, personally, I usually try to stay away from things where the balls aren't being won. So here you can see we're up towards the max on El Capitan. So 2.5 rings. And we will stay pretty close to right here, not trying to over adjust too much. Maybe right in here, just to be on the safe side. Of course, we can't miss great left. So we need to make sure, if anything, we're early on the time. Because the worst thing that you can do there is hit that initial rough. It really doesn't matter if I roll out into the rough. So you see I'm playing it fairly aggressive. Especially since we just got that Jester. So with having the Jester, we're going to be able to get somewhat aggressive with this. So, very nice club here for the early going, as opposed to basic. Much better than the basic. Now, one thing that you can't see, a lot of times if you can't tell, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll flip this, and we'll come over. You see how there's a missing red line. I can't see where the red line is. So we're just trying to gauge the shot arc a little bit. So since we can't, see this full shot arc towards the hole, we're kind of doing it away from the hole. So if I was to analyze this and just say, okay, well, I think I'm going to be landing somewhere down here. This is maybe 25% club. So we're going to use real close to that logic when setting up here. That maybe this is 25, maybe this is a hair more than 25. And when we have, half a ring, 27% there. Utilize some backspin. When you're only at quarter club, the rough iron, it doesn't like to check up very much. So you don't want to bring this in too. And keep in mind there's also a lot of missing guide. So maybe we bounce off this fairway right here. Similar to this. And like I mentioned, super small ring adjustment. Towards quarter club, it almost doesn't play. So you'll see very small adjustments here. So we're only going to go up to about here. Just kind of right on the very front. And of course, same thing, ultimate shot is going to be a premium. Here you'll see it's still rolling through. We're actually over the green. So we still needed to shorten that even more than we did, even with all that backspin. So keep all that in mind. Don't get too aggressive with that ball guide. And of course, I don't play very many shots with Jester as well. So you can see, kind of the way that we kind of played that out, not nearly as strong as we would have hoped. And this wind, of course, will not play. So you just need to try to get it on the ground rolling and don't bring that ball guide in too hot. And of course, the ultimate shot again. So you do want to still try to grab that birdie, and if anything, try to keep it on the green, especially in the early going. I don't want you guys to be throwing away strokes because you can't dial in with the missing ball guide. So you have to factor in the missing ball guide there, keep in mind. However, this match specifically, it's not overly difficult for you to be able to win. More than anything, you just want to focus on concepts, keeping the ball in play, stuff like that. So here we're going to come with El Capitan off the tee. Probably stay away from our topspin because we don't want to roll out into the rough. So here's one of the things that we know. If we roll into the rough, I'd imagine we have kind of no chance. Now, another strategy would just be to hit it over here. And this actually might be kind of a good one, since we now have that Jester with backspin. Maybe instead of doing the layup shot, we just try to go over here. Now, keep in mind, as soon as I hit this out of bounds here, the target is pulling down. So with that in mind, you have to do a pretty good precision shot here. You need to be a little bit careful with this shot. And the great ball to the left should be okay. Just stay out of the bunker. If you do go over this way, just try to stay out of that bunker. And what this does is, especially with early clubs, not a lot of backspin, not a lot of anything, you can see we can still get aggressive here. Now this ball guide should check up a lot more. It's that whole concept that I mentioned a couple hole back. When you're talking about quarter club versus max club, this is going to check up a lot better at max club. So with that in mind, we're going to be close to 100%. We're also on +7 ball. I'm going to dial that back. Try to get this on. Maybe about 3.3 was the ring adjustment. Let's just see how this rolls out, because if you guys remember on the last hole, it rolled pretty much over the green aggressively. This is going to be right at the max line here. With it going into max, I'm just going to kind of over adjust. Let's just see, because you guys remember how fast it ran through at quarter club. Let's see what this ball does. And unfortunately, we hit the great shot, so it's going to definitely come off here to the side. Not a lot of accuracy, but look how fast it's naturally checking up. And these are the type of concepts that you just want to, especially with missing ball guide, you just want to start to understand and start to learn. There's certain places on the green that you can just start to memorize, like, okay, last time it rolled out about this much in max club. Down at quarter club, how much did it roll out? It was like double. It rolled out like twice as much on the same missing ball guide. So keep that in mind with your guys around as well, because you want to be very careful with the way that you adjust min versus max. And that's for every club in the game. And there's no real rule that I can just say, yep, do this, do that, because every club behaves a little bit different, just slightly. And also it depends on, how close is it to the next club down. Because right now you'll see that my driver and my El Capitan are almost the same distance. So min and max are pretty much the same. It's not, you're not seeing, much of a range. And then even here, we only have about 5 rings. It's a very close adjustment in these cases. So this is kind of a good time to maybe try to dial something in. Like I said, it's a small adjustment here. We're about 4 rings from max, kind of close to min club. Just kind of giving us a directional arrow. 2.5 rings, somewhere in that effect. No backspin. So with no backspin, keep in mind it's going to probably come in pretty hot. So one of the things I might do is I might go up 2.5 and then pull back down straight so it holds this line. So if this is where I'm landing, I feel like it's going to come in a little bit too hot. If I feel like it's going to come in too hot, one of the things that we can do is we can just kind of position this, just come straight down, maybe a ring or just a little bit more than a ring. So you can see I'm kind of pulling down, maybe that's what, a ring 1.2 rings or so, just to try to promote the ball to land a little bit shorter, because we don't have a lot of room for the rollout. You can see this is a much better rollout. Now the only thing we didn't factor in is how much slope. So you can see we tried to estimate, we could see it was kind of bouncing to the left, but we didn't predict quite as much. But you can utilize that for your own shot and just say, okay, I remember this hole specifically, it rolled out a little bit left, and you can just try to aim just a little bit more right for your round, because you're going to have the same wins. So that's kind of what these guides are for, is to just kind of give you guys a starting point, and then you go out, shoot your own round, and just make adjustments on what I did. The easiest way to start learning this game is to see somebody else do the exact same scenario. Here in this case, it's a straight headwind. I'm assuming that the ball's not going to roll out very far. With a wide open fairway, you can see I was early with my timing, but it's not going to cost me anything. Now, if I would have had a tailwind there, you know, I might have had to been a little bit more careful because it would have had to come narrow, more in this narrow area. But in this wide, big area, we had plenty of room. So let's just go here. Got locked out here real quick. Sometimes that happens with my subscription. I have kind of weird subscriptions with the way that mine works. I'm kind of in both modes simultaneously. Let's just hop out. About 2 rings you saw. So we're going to be a little conservative here so we don't run into that. The last thing that you want to do is run into that first rough there on the right hand side. The left rough is okay. The right rough, not so much. If anything, I was going to try to great ball to the left there, because I knew that I'd at least miss that and get up here down towards the green. Anything down towards the green, we're going to have a much better chance for eagle here. So we're going to try to pop this in. You know, same concept to when we were, you know, up here at the green earlier with the Jester Club. Very similar with this. You got to keep in mind, towards Min Club, this is going to have a lot of rollout. So you want to keep this ball guide short, even with the backspin. Even with the backspin, you got to be a little bit careful. The only thing I don't know is really how much, to what degree this is going to roll out to the right. Trying to see my ball guide there and really not giving me too much. But this adjustment here, it's going to be super tiny. You know, this is a very small adjustment. Usually I'll play percentage-wise, but we're down here so far. This is one of the things that I wanted to show you. So if I was on Sparrow, it's like 0.16 of a ring. That's actually, yeah, so it's you know, it really doesn't show us much. Min, in this case, is actually quarter club. So if it's under quarter ring, it's 0.1 rings or less. I'm not even going to touch it because it's such a small ring adjustment here. There's so much towards Min Club. Min Club being actually at your feet, because you could roll it from this spot. But let's just see if we can give it a go. And sure enough, you can see, you know, we're able to roll that in. One of the things that you can see that I do is I don't pull the ball guide back way too much. I only pull it back a little bit. Biggest reason, I want to give it a chance to still go in. Even if it comes in a little bit too hot, you can see I gave it a chance and I was able to get the drop. So use that to your advantage, and you can see, you know, easily able to pick up that eagle. We are rolling along here. So let's see if we can keep this momentum going. This is about 2.5 ring adjustment here. A little bit of great ball to the left, which is okay. We need to kind of play it a little bit to the left of this fairway, so we have enough room to bring this into this back pin location, to tucked into the right. This is not going to be the easiest shot here. So let's just try to see what this looks like. And maybe in that one isolated scenario, maybe it would have been better to play it over to the right. Maybe for you guys, you might want to play it over to this right, kind of intentionally bump this. What I'm worried about is if, let's say I go for this shot, I'm worried it's not going to stop. We're down towards the Min Club that I was talking to you guys about. Plus, there's so much missing ball guide. So look at what I'm doing instead. I'm utilizing maybe just a touch of topspin and maybe land right on this. So what does this look like in terms of, you can see down towards Min Club here, maybe 2.4, but we're gonna also need some hook as well. As you can see, it's just gonna roll out to the right, which we don't want. But at 2.4 rings, and let me get that crosshair back up for you guys. We're gonna be talking right around, you know, I'm gonna maybe go just a little bit aggressive, maybe towards 2.5, because I wanna make sure that this does, in fact, hit the rough. We're gonna utilize all this curl, and remember, don't be late on your timing here, no matter what. Anything early is okay, late hits the fairway. You gotta make sure when we have topspin on it, that we're getting it up onto the green. And like I said, that shot would be a little bit easier had we hugged the right-hand side. Now, you know, I don't remember playing this hole in the past. This might be my first time on this course. And well, especially with the early clubs, definitely. So with that being said, I didn't really have a good strategy off the tee. But if you guys play it for yourself, that's what I would recommend doing. Kind of going over to the right-hand side and doing it that way. Here you can see, we're still able to put together, even with very entry-level clubs, we're still able to put together a decent round. Here you can see max line again. Keep in mind, at max club, we're going to have more backspin than towards min club. So more natural backspin, even with with the tailwind, it's going to kind of stretch the ball guide out, but in this scenario, it won't because we have a tailwind, but it's at max. It's like very close to that max line. So here you see right around 4.9. Give or take. So 4.9 rings, somewhere around here with the aim. So let's give this a go, see what it looks like. Since I didn't utilize a lot of backspin, I'm not sure which way this is going to slope. It looks like we played it pretty good, just a little bit too much checkup, but that's one of the concepts that I was mentioning. Right towards max club there, it's going to have natural backspin. You might want to keep that ball guide just a little bit less aggressive than I did. I was trying to leave room, especially with the topspin, so we didn't run out of room there. Almost maybe one backspin, no backspin. The max line there on that same Raptor would be about perfect. Keep in mind, you'll have the same wind direction as I had. You can try to do something very similar. Here we come. Gonna not get too aggressive. Biggest reason, the longer this drive gets, the more that you're kind of playing against yourself with these early clubs. You can see it's going to kind of, once it gets too much over to the right here, you're going to kind of start to bring that right hand rough in line with the pins. Keeping it short here is the strategy. I'm thinking about going here and just not playing my rings. So for instance, first off, I might want to figure out, how many rings is it supposed to play? 2.5? If this lands 2.5 rings shorter, is it gonna roll out still? So if it lands down here, I think it's still gonna even maybe roll out too far. So we might still need to short hit on top of this. And one of the things you might do for alignment, this is more in the event that it's not lined up the way that it is, but you might want to adjust the rings first, kind of like this, and then straighten up your shot circle like this. And once you get this relatively straight, you can see my grid line there, kind of creating. Now we just pull straight back down, right to that min line. Like I mentioned, I think still might need to short hit this a little bit. Just trying to get one tick mark to the left if I can. Let's try this, and like I said, we're going to just try to short hit just a touch. Oh no! Did the early timing. We're going to screw up our perfect round, it's looking. So we played a clean round until then. The worst part is, you could great ball that to the left, you just couldn't great ball it to the right. So a very bad mistake. And you'll want to try to avoid those mistakes, unforced errors if you can. Trying to figure out if I can figure out which way this is breaking. Keep in mind, like we mentioned, we played this earlier and it rolled out a ton. Same thing's going to apply here. I would imagine this ball's going to run out a lot more than you might think. We'll definitely keep that ball guide short. And if we can get our alternate shot, maybe we still can pull this off. But, definitely in the early going, if you see trouble, don't get too aggressive like I did. As you can see, it's directly going to cause me to start. So you could have avoided this par simply by great balling left. I'm just not trying to jump the gun with my timing. Just a little bit too, a little bit too quick with things. Try to be a little bit more methodical. Don't make an unforced error like that. That's the type of thing, it's not going to cost me in this one, but it might cost me in a tournament later on down the road. So you want to try to play error-free and don't make an unforced error like that, especially when you don't have the luxury of like a special ball to kind of widen that target for you. But here you can see, all in all, not too bad. Hopefully this helps you guys kind of get off the ground and rolling. Like I said, you're gonna have the same wins as I do, so everything that you're seeing here, your wins are gonna be the same. So just focus on trying to reflect on my round and try to make just little tweaks to try to get that much closer and kind of work on your game. I'll keep putting out guides for you guys to help you guys along the way. Best of luck. Feel free to subscribe like I mentioned before, and I'll be able to put together more content for you, and then that way you can get notified when it's released, and so to come and get the tutorial and then go shoot your round after watching that tutorial. But feel free to drop some comments in the comment, hit the like button, stuff like that. Catch you guys later. Take care. Best of luck.